Welcome! Today I will be reviewing the Cold Steel Recon Tanto. I actually made my original video review of this 2 years ago when I was still using my webcam to film. So, kind of makes me cringe, but that video actually got 10,000 views. So, thought I should revisit this, talk about it, because I haven't filmed it too much, although I use it all the time. So, just to get all the correct specs on it, let's find it in here, which Cold Steel Recon Tanto. So let's talk about Cold Steel as a company first. On YouTube, there's two different types of YouTubers, really. There's the people that love Cold Steel and only buy Cold Steel, and there's some people that absolutely hate Cold Steel. And then there's some people in the middle. Honestly, I fall somewhere in the middle because I collect lots of knives. In fact, I carry a Hinderer. I have a Cold Steel Recon 1 that I've stonewashed. So I collect all types of knives. But the knife I really use to go out and bash on when I'm in the woods is this Cold Steel Recon Tanto, which just went through a lot of use. Just look at the blade, and you can see the Teflon coating has been wearing off, and that's from batoning through logs, and it is still going strong. Very sharp. We'll talk about the blade steel and stuff in a moment. Let's see. Cold Steel makes some awesome products, some that I'm going to be picking up soon. I own maybe 5 or 6 different ones. Ones I can name off my head. And of course the Recon Tanto, the what is this? The Mini Tough Light, the Recon 1. Then I have the Kukri Machete, which is in here. Let's see if we can find that. No, I don't know where it is. But I own the Kukri. We own, where is it? The Roach Belly, as well as one of the training knives, which these things are fantastic. I own this one, I believe. No, it's this one. But they are absolutely fantastic. So, Cold Steel, absolutely fantastic company. Haven't dealt with their warranty service, so I'm not really sure about that, which is a good thing because none of their knives have broken, although I put them under some extreme use, which they advertise that their knives can take extreme abuse, while other companies tend to shy away from that. Let's go back to this knife. Don't remember the specs on how long the blade is, all that information. So I'll have to kind of use this as a cheat sheet. Okay, read that real quick. Okay, so let's get into the review after 3 minutes of just rambling. So when you look at the knife, it has what they call a Secure X sheath, which is, I guess, Kydex, or a type of almost plastic-like sheath for people that are unaware. It has, of course, lots of lashing points for putting on your vest. You can put this upside down. You just unscrew it with Phillips screws. Then, not only does it have kind of it grabs on through there, but it has a little loop with a button closure. So you get the knife nice and secure. Let's see if it rattles at all. Let's hold this. Slightly up and down, as you can see, and slightly left and right, but that is very nice, actually, for a Kydex-like sheath. Tension, very nice. Just press your thumb up against that, and you can draw it very easily. One thing I have noticed with this sheath, you're going to get some wear right there, and that will be normal. just because of how it is made. One suggestion that I would have for the sheath would definitely be to make the holes be able to accept the Blade Tech. This is the Blade Tech clip. That way, with this knife, you could have it either on your back and hold it in a horizontal manner instead of simply vertical. Although you can move this so it's horizontal, the Blade Tech is a very nice feature. Don't know if they have changed it to be able to accept one. This is about 2 to 3 years old. So, yes. Now looking at the actual knife, they have a rubbery grip that I believe they call Cray-X. Is fantastic when it comes to grip. You're definitely not going to have problems with your hands slipping, whether it's wet or covered in mud, dirt, whatever. So it has a almost bubbly pattern on it, and then lines on the back. You can see that it does collect a little bit of dirt, but can be easily washed off. Has a nice guard right there, so to even make sure your hands don't slip off, or a little bit more protection, I should say. Has a lanyard hole in case you're wanting to put a wrist lanyard for a little more control, or to make sure the knife doesn't go somewhere when you're chopping. All you would do to attach one of those is basically a string, go around your wrist and be tied off up there. A lot of people like those. I personally do not. They do have a little bit of grip up there as well for reverse. As this is a combat knife, I actually use it as a bushcraft knife. Now to the blade. Some of the first stuff you'll see, of course, is the stamp, Cold Steel, Japan. That was actually a pleasant surprise, as I thought this was made in Taiwan, until I actually looked and saw Japan stamped on it. Recon Tanto, of course, that's the name of the knife. Doesn't have the blade steel marking, but is AUS 8A. It is a rather soft steel, but good for if there's damage to the blade. It's easy to resharpen and get to a very nice edge. It is a 3/16 inch wide blade, or thick blade. So thickness goes pretty far to the edge, so it's not the best cutter, but very good for some harder use, which Cold Steel advertises it for. It has a Teflon coating, which for those that are unaware what Teflon is, it is a rubber, I believe. So it should help with some of the cutting, but will come off a bit easier than DLC coating. So that is one thing you'll want to be aware of. This was after 2 or 3 years of use on cutting up logs, batoning through them. I believe I have some videos of me batoning using this. If not, let me know. I'll film some and post them, as I love using this knife. It is a Tanto, of course. It does have a little bit of a sweep on the edge, and then pretty abrupt Tanto. Makes that tip very strong. You can see the thickness goes almost all the way to the tip, and you're going to get a very pointy tip, very strong. One thing I have noticed with Tantos is you tend to not use that tip too much, but yeah, that's one of the sacrifices. So one of the things I've actually started doing is when sharpening it, I've kind of sharpened just with a sweep, so it starts making that almost a sweep instead of a point. Just something I prefer, so I can use that tip a little bit more for my outdoors uses. According to the catalog, this is a 7-inch blade, but let's measure everything to see how long it really is. Let's see, it is a 7-inch blade, about a 6.5-inch cutting edge. The handle is a little bit under 5 inches, and the width of the blade is about 1 1/4 right there, and it goes down to about 1 inch right before the Tanto tip. So you get a pretty wide, nice knife. One thing that this knife excels at is batoning. You get a very thick blade, not as thick as some extreme, outrageous knives, but it's very nice for batoning through logs, as it has that nice V grind. Now to get into my opinion, or what I really think about the cold steel Recon Tanto. So other than my suggestion of having the sheath be able to accept the blade tech lock, there's not too much more that this knife really could be improved on. Of course, the blade steel, they actually offer a better version, which is the Sanmai VG1. Let's show that in here. But this does cut down the price using a AUS 8, and I have to say it's not a bad steel at all. Is this? Yeah, here it is, VG1 Sanmai. So this one does not have any Teflon coating. I've also heard it has a tendency of rusting. Don't remember exactly where I heard it, but it is a higher carbon steel. So definitely that's one thing I'll be thinking about buying, is one of the Sanmai versions. Of course, you have to take care of all your knives or they'll rust, so I have not had really any of my knives rust, except my Mora. I was in the middle of a tropical storm while I was hiking the Appalachian Trail. So that's a little bit of a different story. So other than those, very much like this knife, I found it to be a fantastic outdoors knife. Since I'm not I'm not military or anything like that, I'm not going to be using it for any tactical type duties. I haven't really found another knife that needs to replace this yet. Of course, I may try out some other brand knives for outdoor use, but currently, for the past 2 to 3 years, I have not found the need to buy a new one. And you guys know how much I love buying knives. I have 600 videos on different knives. So, there you go. That's the end of my review. Love this knife. Definitely suggest people purchasing one, picking one up, and cold steel, if you don't like this knife, has plenty of others that are like it, especially if you're into bushcraft. They have a lot more since I purchased this. Which, a couple things that I plan on purchasing are the blow dart gun. Really wanting one of those. Thinking about purchasing one actually when I turn this video off, which now I'm just kind of wasting time. These are fun. Bring one of those hiking with me. So, see you guys later. Have a great day. Definitely go pick one of these up. Bye.